ما أريد من هذا الشعب إلا أن يزيد في الحمد والشكر إلى الله عز وجل، ويزيد من محبة الوطن، ويزيد من العمل ومضاعفة العمل لما يسعى فيه من خير له وللدولة والأهل. هذا اللي أنا أدوره من الشعب، وربنا إن شاء الله يوفقنا جميعا على ما يحب ويرضى.
I'd like to thank the rulers of the UAE and especially Dubai, because that's where we're based.
نحنا شعوب لها نفدى ثراها، نبذل الغالي لها دوم ونهب. نحنا شعوب لها نفدى ثراها، نبذل الغالي لها دوم ونهب. كل دار زايد تاريخ تقرب حماها، لا تقرب منازلها إلا محب زايد أسسها واليوم.
Welcome everyone to your favorite program, Pearls of Union, which invites the most successful people here in the UAE. Our inspiring guests have moved from the darkness of challenges to the light of success. Our inspiring guests have set a title for success and ambition. And our special guest for today is Mr. Gavin Dodd, and he is the Managing Director of Ronai LLC. Welcome, Mr.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, I'm so pleased to meet you today.
And it's a pleasure to be here.
So please, sir, in the beginning, can you tell us about yourself, about your background, about your career journey and the significant milestones you have achieved?
So my hospitality journey began when I left school at 18. I went to work in the Copthorne Hotel at Gatwick in the UK. Yeah. Started off as a trainee right down the bottom. And when I left the hotel, I was looking after the F&B department in the absence of an F&B manager. The reason I left the hotel is because I'd been there for about 10 years, and at the time my father ran a general export company in the UK, and he asked me if I could go and help him for a short while because they had a big problem to sort out. And he said, just come for 6 months, change of career, and then you can go back to the hotel industry. I thought to myself, no, that's not going to happen. And when it became clear that I wasn't leaving the company, he said to me, why don't we set up a hospitality division? Because he didn't want me selling the products he was selling, because he said, for the rest of your life, people will be saying, oh, your dad didn't do that, your dad didn't do that. And he thought it'd be better if I had a fresh start. So we set up a hospitality supplies company in the UK, supplying the whole of the Middle East. And one of the first companies we represented was a uniform company called Simon Jersey. And with that company, I won the contract for Emirates Airlines to do their cabin crew uniforms. Then that's when the journey in Dubai really started, because previously I was just traveling to the Middle East 3-4 times a year. But once we won the Emirates contract, we obviously had to set up a firm business in the UAE so that we could supply tailors to Emirates.
And what challenges does the company face in the hospitality industry, and how does it address them effectively?
My main challenge is probably more personal than career-based. So about 13 years ago, I was diagnosed with malignant melanoma. I had my lymph nodes removed from under my arms, and I had 2 lots of brain surgeries. When I came back to Dubai after all of my treatment was done in the UK at the Royal Marsden, when I came back to Dubai, I thought to myself, I have to throw myself into work. At the time, I was a partner in a pub here in Dubai, and we did the catering at the Rugby Sevens every year at the weekend. And we produced something like 25,000 meals each day. So the hours were brutal for that period of that weekend, every weekend. So we worked from 7 in the morning till about 11 o'clock at night. I wanted to prove that I could do whatever I wanted to do, despite everybody telling me I couldn't. So on the last day, I was really happy that I'd managed to do 3 days of 7 in the morning to 11 at night. And driving home, I'm completely not aware of what happened, and I ended up in hospital. There for 3-4 days, completely unaware of what was going on. It was a seizure that I had because of my brain surgery. So I then bought myself a new car, and I was in the bank for a long time, as you always are when you go to a bank. And I got back in the car to drive back to my apartment at the time, and called my wife and said to her, I'm completely lost. So she called my best friend and said to him, Gavin's completely lost, can you make sure he's okay? So he came to the apartment, saw my car outside, parked perfectly well, and phoned my wife and said, there's no need to worry, he's at home, the car's parked okay, don't worry about it. She came home sometime later. I went to my desk in the house, and I collapsed on the floor with blood coming out of my head.
And who have supported you along the way? Who have been your key supporters and mentors? The persons who have supported you, encouraged you, and helped you to overcome these challenges?
Obviously, that particular challenge, my wife was a great help and my best friend. But as far as the business is concerned, my mentor initially was my father, who obviously employed me in the beginning in the UK. When I set up in Dubai, I regularly called him to see what his idea was of what I was going to do. The best friend that I mentioned was already in Dubai. We became friends in Dubai, but he was incredibly supportive. He helped me set up the business, and he helped me do lots of things. And he's retired now, back in the UK, but we still talk on a very regular basis.
Can you please now tell us about this company and the core services it provides?
Ronai LLC is a hospitality supply business. We now have a specialist division that makes uniforms, and we design and manufacture the majority of our uniforms in the UAE. So we are supplying Donata worldwide. We have a contract with Dubai Airports. We also supply Pool Cafe, all GCC. And we have very strong presence with Jumeirah, and we have just we're just in the process of finishing supplying Jumeirah Masal Arab.
So sir, as the managing director, what were the main challenges you have faced in your role?
I think it all focuses around my illness, really, because before I was ill, we were growing, and I was completely involved in the business. But obviously, after such an illness, my doctor told me that I had a week to live at one stage. Coming back to Dubai was very hard to refocus on the business. And I made lots of mistakes because of my illness and because I didn't realize how it affected me so much mentally. Yeah. So that was a massive challenge. We're now at a situation where I have a great team. I have a COO who's been with me now for a couple of years, and my health is in a much better place, and the business is getting back to where it used to be.
And what are the challenges does the company face in the hospitality industry, and also how does the company address them effectively?
When I started the business here in Dubai, most of the suppliers who we worked with offered exclusivity to the distributor. And that was really perfect because it allowed the supplier and us to work on a marketing strategy so that together we were able to make massive inroads into the market. Today, most companies that you represent don't want to have exclusivity. They believe that the more companies that they have, the better their sales will be. I don't think that's the case, but that's what they believe as suppliers. So in order for us to overcome that problem, we have invested in our own brands that we get manufactured for us. So obviously we have uniforms by Ronai, which we've had for a long time. We have cutlery by Ronai, which is our own cutlery range, and we have table by Ronai, which is our own crockery brand.
You know, sir, that sustainability is becoming very important in the hospitality industry. So how does the company incorporate sustainability into its operations to enhance efficiency and customer satisfaction?
So as far as sustainability is concerned, when we work with suppliers, we try to work with suppliers that have a very good sustainability record. For example, the Chinaware companies we work with, we like to know what they're doing with wastewater, what they're doing with products that they don't sell. And once we know that, we try to work with those companies. So as far as uniforms are concerned, we are far more in control. We offer customers a range of sustainability fabrics that are made from plastic bottles and recycled fabrics. And we also look at sustainability in another way as well. We supply products that will last longer, whether it's our chip-resistant plates or our uniforms that are manufactured to last.
And sir, how has the UAE contributed to the success and the growth of Ronai?
So as far as our uniforms are concerned, we're far more in control. We can offer sustainable fabrics, which can include fabrics made from plastic bottles and other sustainable garments, sustainable fabrics. We also look at sustainability in another way as well. We supply products that will last longer, whether it's our chip-resistant plates or uniforms that are manufactured to last. Last year, we began a new sustainability initiative, partnering with a recycling company. When our customers buy a new uniform from us, we can take their old uniforms, have them completely repurposed and recycled into new yarns for future fabric manufacture. This is all offered free of charge to our clients. The business environment in the UAE, and in particular Dubai, has always been good to us. The fact that we have always been able to reinvest our profit back into the growth of the business has helped us enormously to get us to the size that we are today. Dubai, whilst having a lot of paperwork, has always made it easy to complete it. Also, its geographical location is a major bonus from an employment perspective and from a product perspective. It's very simple, very easy for us to get products from all over the world, and it's very easy for us to get our staff from all over the world. And Dubai is a very pleasant environment for people to live and work in. The introduction of VAT was also a positive for us, as it helped in terms of competition. As you will see, we have an extensive facility. That means our costs are relatively high, but also allows us to offer a professional service. Previously, we were competing with individuals who were able to supply products with a very small margin, but with no other service. We hope the leaders of this fantastic country will continue with their wisdom for many decades to come.
So sir, after your faithful journey and rich experiences, you have built your success story. So the word of success is not strange to you. But you know, it's a subjective word and it differs from one person to another. So in your opinion, how can you define success?
I think success for me has been the way we've managed to establish our brand on our reputation and our service. When I first came here 22 years ago, I used to phone a hotel and tried to get a meeting, and it was very, very difficult because no one knew who we were and no one knew the name Ronai. Today, nearly all of the companies, hospitality companies in the UAE know who we are, and that is something that I'm very proud of and something that I feel makes us very successful. And I just hope that that journey continues, because the thing that makes me most proud is the reputation that we have in this market, and that for me is success.
You know, sir, that lots of people from audience, they are a new generation and they see from your story something special inspired them. So what is your advice to the new generation and also to young entrepreneurs aspiring to enter the same field?
So for me, I've loved the hospitality industry. I've seen it from both sides of the fence. From when I started working in the hotel industry, the hours were brutal, but very enjoyable. And I think it was only when I left the hotel industry that I realized that a lot of my friends, a lot of my colleagues were actually friends as well. But it did involve getting up and working at 6 o'clock in the morning and maybe finishing at 1, 2 o'clock the following morning. Now I've moved to the other side, and that's supplying the hotels. I also love that as well, because I'm interacting with people that I know, that I understand their challenges, and I understand what makes them happy and what makes them able to do their job better than they could otherwise do it. I think my advice to any young people wanting to join the industry, you have to be aware that the hours are very, very, very long. And I'd also say that start low down. Don't think that you have to go in as the general manager of the company, and don't think that if you're fortunate enough to be able to buy a restaurant that that's the right thing to do. You have to learn the trade from the bottom. Do not think that you can do it from day one, because I don't believe that anybody is capable of doing that. As I mentioned earlier, I started right at the bottom, and I think I'm the better for it.
The UAE has for sure contributed to your success story. So what is your appreciation message you would like to convey through our episode to the UAE and its rulers?
I'd like to thank the rulers of the UAE, and especially Dubai, because that's where we're based. I think their vision for the tourism industry is second to none. Their infrastructure, the way they've built that and the way they've built hotels, this is an amazing destination. And I think they probably are proud, but need to be even more proud of what they've achieved. Without this country's support, we would not have been here. And for that, I thank the rulers.
Thank you so much, sir. It was my pleasure talking with you today. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Dear audience, this is the end of our episode. Watch us next week. Goodbye.